So people have asked me all the time, say, how you know what you know? I said, I got over 20 years of teaching in my house. I got 5 years of teaching in the box. I ain't even started teaching yet. You know why? We can't get past the love walk. Let the church say amen. Amen. If you can't, what's the purpose of we talking about all this other else stuff? No need for me to talk about the book of Revelation and what a grasshopper gonna look like and long hair. And there's no need for me to talk about the seraphim and the cherubim and how they got 4 heads. And there's no need for me to teach on none of that, because a lot of the body of Christ, I didn't say y'all, did I? Okay, I said a lot in the body of Christ have not got past the love walk yet. They'd rather kiss the dog than throw a bucket of water on you and get up in the church and shout on Sunday. Well, that's a good place for the church to see. Yes. So I come to realize that with me writing, I was able to start comprehending the Bible. And that's what I told the young man. I said, the first problem you got to get licensed and ordained is you don't want to do what I asked you to do. And I'm asking you to do something that's going to benefit you. We're not going to license and ordain you for 3 years. You got 3 years to write the New Testament. You can't teach something that you never read. You can't teach something that you never had a witness of. You can't teach something that you never studied. You can't teach it. I said, that's how come you get in an argument in Sunday school. That's how come you get in an argument in Bible study. But see, you don't have nothing to back you up. And the people who talk to you got scriptures to back it up. But sit and read this book. Go ahead and read John chapter 10.
Verse 14, I am the good shepherd and know my sheep, and I am known, and I know of mine.
Verse 15.
As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father.
What I just said? You got what? Willing? You got to be willing to die for your ministry. Jesus said, I know my sheep, and I did what? I lay down my life for them. So you're not willing. Reverend Taylor, I'm not Dr. I'm not going to do all that. I'm not going to lay down my life and know them folks just walk all over me. Yeah, but see, you said God called you. You said you on kingdom business. And now what kingdom business requires of us, sometimes we don't want to, I'm not going to pray for them. This to me, no, but you in kingdom business. See, your lifestyle and what you're confessing and what you're saying got to add up. And see, even if somebody done you wrong and you don't want to settle that thing and they go with the Lord. See, you done settle it. It done settle all in heaven. You ain't got to prove nothing. You got to say no more about it. It's done settled with God. And when it's settled with God, that's a finished conversation. Huh? We don't even have to go any further on that. Listen to this. Go over to Luke, go over to John chapter 21, 15 through 17. Now Jesus said, I lay life for my sheep. And the one thing that Jesus did come to do in Luke chapter 19 and verse 10, for the Son of Man has come to seek and to save those which are lost. Now, if you call to be on the king's business, you should always be seeking somebody. Or let me put it this way, not being religious, you should always have an open heart and mind, and if the door is open, are you with me? That you can share a word with them. Your business for God should not just be on Sunday morning and Wednesday. See, unfortunately, there will be a lot of preachers in hell. Let me say it a little louder. And those of you who are watching us here, can't agree with yourself. If you hear my voice, I'll just share it with you. It's gonna be a lot of preachers in hell. Amen. Don't say that. Because Jesus said the whoremonger and the harlot will enter into the kingdom of heaven before some of you. He told the Pharisees them that. See? He told the Pharisees, the religious folks. He said the whoremonger and the harlot will be into the kingdom of heaven before some of you. And all the long roads to wash it up, all of the elbows and everything. You know, with fasting and letting everybody see you. But he said, do it in secret. Anoint, brag or boast about it. Just do what God called you to do. But he told the Pharisees, he said, whoremonger and the harlot be there before some of you. You know they had a problem with Jesus. When did I say that you do? John?
John, the 21st and the 15th verse.
All right, start reading.
On the 15th verse, so when they had dined, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, Feed my lambs.
All right, Jesus gave him an order based on what he said. He asked Peter a question. Peter said, you know I love you. Jesus said, okay, feed my lamb. See, what you confess, Jesus will put you to the test. Amen. You're going to be tested by authenticity, as they like to say. One of the words I learned something. Yes, ma'am. Read the next verse.
He said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, Then feed my sheep.
And you know, Peter was talking about phileas. He was not talking about the agape love. He was talking about Jesus was talking about the agape love. Peter was talking about phileas love. You're talking about it in the natural, but I need you to have the agape love, the unconditional love. Yeah. The same kind I would have for you. I don't want phileas love, but I'm going to ask you again. Ask him, see what he said.
Verse 17, he said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things, thou knowest that I love thee. Jesus said unto him, Feed my sheep.
Now listen to this. You're called to be on the king's business. You shouldn't be preparing prayer just for you. You follow me?
Yeah.
There is people out there that is hungry for the gospel. And each and every one of us have someone on this Christian journey that we can help. Now, I didn't say get saved, did I? Because the Bible said what? One plant and one water. And then God. Okay. Because see, we get confused when we meet people, we share a word with them, and then we try to figure, oh, why did you get saved after I talked with them? That was not your place. God used you as a vessel in that moment. You don't know how many people. Now, I look at myself. I must be talking to 20 people in my life before I got saved. And it started 11 years old and grew up in the church. But some don't like, and a lot of people who are working coming up as a young man, they were in the Lord. You know, we'd be riding in the truck together. They said, well, wait, no, you know, this was son. You ever thought about turning your life over to the Lord? You chasing all the women's? Y'all didn't know I did that? Man, I'm like a runaway train. Y'all ain't got to act like y'all ain't did the things. That's all right. I did them. Thank God. Hallelujah for being born again. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would always have somebody that would talk to me about the Lord. You follow what I'm saying? And through all those conversations between 15 and 16 and growing up in the church, finally one day at about 36 years old, I wake up and with everything I had, listen to this, I was still empty. Interesting feelings in it. You can have everything in the world that you want, but there's something still missing that cannot fulfill your spirit man desire. You can buy all the stuff in the world for your flesh. You get all the cars, the house, the money, the travel. You get all the stuff you want. But there's something still going to be missing that cannot fulfill that void in your life. And that's going to be God. Why? Because man is missing the one thing that he was created by when he was first created. He was missing the spot called Eden where God's presence dwelt. Because when God created man, man put him in Eden, a spot on the earth where God present. And when man fell, he was put what? Out of Eden. He was put out of God's presence in the sense of how he knew God one-on-one. The relationship was not there anymore. And a lot of times, and I listen, even in the marriage teachings that I've done, I say, no man and no woman could fulfill nobody's desire until they are both single. See, I know y'all think about this being single, so let me take you to school just for a minute. The word means separated and unique and whole within yourself. when you have two people who are that, then both can come together and become one. That's a good place for church to say amen. Because if you only who you are based on who you have with you, then you're in a bad spot. And the other person the same way. But when both are complete within themselves, then they can bring something together as one. Because now they know their place where in the Lord. Huh? Keep reading.
And verse 18, verily, verily, I say unto thee, when thou wast young, thou girded thyself and walkest whether thou wouldest. But when thou shalt be old, thou shalt strengthen, and another shall gird thee, and carry thee whether thou wouldest not. This spake he signified him by what death he should glorify God. And when he had spoken this, he saith unto him, follow me.
Okay, listen to this. So Peter, he was telling Peter that when you get on the king's business, when you start to do my work, you're gonna have long life. He said, now they will carry you. In other words, there's a reward for the king's business. When you have heard the voice of God, listen to this, you can't die and leave from here until your task has been finished. Now, some people disagree with that. No, I'm going to stick around until my job is done. You follow what I'm saying? I'm gonna stick around until I fulfill my purpose. I'm not going to stick around until I get old, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to understand the difference.